Trump makes history by being the first president to make a purchase with Bitcoin. Kamala Harris has been told what to say about crypto, and she says it. And Sam Altman believes that AI will fix climate change, bring unimaginable prosperity, and make you better looking. Speaking of better looking, we invite a guest to the show today so you don't have to just look at us or listen to us. Turns out he's pretty dang smart as well. His name is Alex Fisun, and he's the CEO and co-founder of Global Ledger, a leader in blockchain solutions for federal crime prevention. Catching bad guys brought to you by badasses. Hey, it's what John McAfee once said about us, and we're just repeating it. I think he meant it. This is our Catching Bad Crypto Guys and Bad News, episode number 743 of the Bad Crypto Podcast.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, ignition.
Who's bad?
I'm John McAfee, and I've been on with these badasses on Bad Crypto for the past hour. I'm very happy to leave them, but I will tell you this, they are badasses.
See there? He said it. So it must be true, Travis.
So nice. I miss that dude. He was a character for show.
Super interesting. If only we knew the whole story. You know, we get the bios that you could see on Netflix and other channels and all that. And, you know, we've spoken to Janice a couple times, and she, you know, but there's so much that's not been told. And maybe
we get the story that they tell us. Here's the real story that we want you to know. We get to know the narrative.
Right. Welcome to the Bad Crypto Podcast. We're glad that you guys are here. Got a great show for you today. Some really amazing news and cool things happening in the market, and then followed up by a sponsored crypto spotlight, which we think you guys are going to find very important. So with that, let's go ahead and pull up the coin geckos today and take a look at where the market is. In fact, I'm going to refresh so it's as fresh as it can be. Recording this on Tuesday, September 24th, 11:56 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The total crypto market cap, $2.31 trillion. And Bitcoin currently at 63,086. Ethereum 2610, BNB 605, Solana 145, XRP 58 cents, Dogecoin 10.7 cents, and rounding out the top 10 is Toncoin 549. I see definitely for the week we've got green that's been going on, Trav. Looks like Ethereum especially up 10% over the last 7 days.
Well, if you're looking at the top 100, we're looking at like BitTensor is up 65%. Sui, there's a lot of stuff going on with Sui, SUI. And remember, Sui is a part of the team of Facebook's Libra project that they were working on. Half of them went over to Aptos. The other half went over to Sui. Speaking of Aptos, that's the next one on the list. It's up almost 31% this past week. And then SEI is up 30%. So it's kind of confusing with SUI and SEI, a little crazy. FET is up 25%. The Graph up 25%. Near up 23%. Several of them up above 20%. Now, I want to actually talk about this and add this to our show structure. Is the top crypto categories over the last week. Now, if you go on CoinGecko and you click on, cryptocurrencies and you click on categories, you'll see those are the narratives that are the most important. And there's a ton of them in there. I don't even know how many there are in there. I think there's about 100. No, there's 452 different narratives out there for you to, and these are all categories of tokens that are grouped together based on similarity. And so over the last week, Binance Launch Pool, that grew 36% in the last 7 days. That's huge. Circle Ventures, Circle is the crypto project. USDC, you're familiar with them. Take a look at that. That's up 34%. Artificial intelligence is also a big category this week, up 34%. Some of these are starting to roll, guys. Data availability up 33%. AI agents up 33%, as well as analytics projects are up 32%. There's a bunch of them that's up over 20%. So go if you want to do your own research. That is a great place for you to go. Check it out. If you find some interesting projects that you think are cool, maybe send us a telegram or send us an email or send us a Twitter X. Let us know because there's some great stuff in there. A lot of these have 20, 30, 50. Artificial intelligence has almost 200 coins in it. So a lot of and a lot of them are up and to the right, up and to the right. This last week was great. It seems like, Joel, we're at that beginning phase of this next big pop because we're about to enter October. You know what I mean?
We are indeed, and you could see right now we have just entered into a market sentiment of greed, now sitting at 54. Last week we were still in fear. People are looking optimistic. I saw a chart on Twitter yesterday. I'll try to find it here in just a moment, where we are like 14 days out of in the post-halving cycle where the bull market has begun in the last 3 cycles. And this is why at the end of year. Also, I read that when we have a positive September, when September ends in the green, we've had the most bullish Octobers in history. That seems to be a traditional thing. So,
well, I mean, if you look at those historically during years of halvings, I did some research on this. I don't have a screen to share, but they were typically up around 20% in that October. Some of them 25%, some 18, something like that. But I mean, if you think about that, here we are right now with Bitcoin, what, 64,000. So you figure 10% of that is $6,400, double that, 12,800. So think of the price that we are right now. We could conceivably hit $75,000 next month, which would be an all-time high, which would be a big signal for November as well. So if we hit 75 in October, that's a really good sign. And then November is going to be really weird because November 5th, something big's happening. I don't know what's happening on that, but maybe our next news article covers it.
Yeah, an incredibly bullish signal indeed. Trump has made a historic Bitcoin payment at PubKey, the first U.S. president to publicly transact with Bitcoin. In fact, I was just looking at the video version of this. I'm going to see if I can pull it up here. You can see him actually doing it. We'll just link it in the show notes so that that you guys can see it. And this is kind of a big deal, right? It took a little time to go through. It wasn't the smoothest thing, but he did it. He did it. PubKey, for those who don't know, is a Bitcoin-themed bar that is in Greenwich Village in New York City. And so he went there to get a cheeseburger on National Cheeseburger Day. Cheeseburger. Oh, the video is actually embedded in this article right here. So you can see this if you go to the show notes, badco.in/743 is this where this will be located. So this is kind of a big deal, huh, Trav?
Did we also get to see him eat the cheeseburger? Because I mean, I want to make sure that we see the complete transaction.
How cool to be like these guys here that are with him, helping him do this transaction. Like
Yeah,
that's historic. Good. Like, hey, when the president of the U.S. made the first Bitcoin transaction, I helped him do that.
This reminds me. I saw a Dan Held. He's a former show guest of the show, and he had this on LinkedIn. He said, when your bank has a transaction come through on your account, it's approved, but when your Bitcoin transaction comes through, it's confirmed. So that's kind of the difference between traditional finance and crypto. Is, oh, you get approved. Oh, maybe I want to go in and withdraw my money. They want to know, well, why do you want to withdraw this money? And I'm like, because it's mine, bitch. That's right. Why it's mine. No, actually, you're supposed to say it's because I need all this cash because I got to do a transgender reassignment. And then you just start saying weird shit to the bankers, and they go, "Dude, just take your money, bro, weirdo. I gotta get 1,000 bottles of baby oil because I'm going to a Diddy freak off."
A Diddy freak off. Hey, I found this piece right here of the charts from all the past years. Lark Davis posted this. Bitcoin is up 6% in September so far. Whenever September is green, it's incredibly bullish for October. You can see it right here. Green leads to 28% up. Down, down, down. Still was bullish. Green led to up, green led to up. There's not a time so far historically that a green September has not led to an Uptober.
But look at 2016. What was that? Up 14%.
Yep.
2020 up 27%. And then so let's just say 20% this month. It should probably hit 75K if it and look at that. In the last however many years that is, 12 years, there's only two downtobers
Crazy.
or rectober. I don't know what it is. Rectober, Uptober and rectober.
And again, we're still at the beginning of what takes place here. We are post halving. There's one more chart that I can pull up here, which I think is really interesting. By the way, if you're not watching us on the visual version of this show, then you're missing.
If you're not leaving comments and being awesome and giving thumbs up, then what the hell is your deal?
Yeah, and you could find us on not just YouTube. We're also on Rumble and Odyssey, and we prefer that you view us on those latter platforms because YouTube can Google can ebod. So here we go. Here's the different. You can see
What,
here's the halving.
520,000? Is that what that says?
Here's the halving in 2017, and they kind of show how it's replicated: the peaks, the accumulation phases, the halving phase, and then the up phase. So this is in 2017 when we ran up from whatever it was, $75 up to like 2000. And then we are here right now post halving. And this is, I don't know if we're actually going to see 520,000. Who knows? The world is
150,000. You know what? What's
the world's
interesting
crazy.
is that Trump was saying if he's president and he wants to start getting that Bitcoin reserve because he thinks Bitcoin, the value over time, could potentially help the United States with that $35 trillion worth of debt right over time. And that's I'm going, damn. Well, if that's the case, because right now Bitcoin's worth, the total value of Bitcoin is a little over $1 trillion, I think, right? And then wow, dude, like I think no, if we're 54% dominance of Bitcoin, I'm not looking at the charts, but I would say probably Bitcoin's probably 1.1, $1.2 trillion. There is so much more value ahead. If we're going on the path of turning this into a really big sort of industry, Bitcoin's going to be stupid priced later on down the road.
If government doesn't, governments don't crush it. By the way, this just tweeted a few hours ago. Some whale just bought $85 million of Bitcoin on Binance. That's like 1,100 or so Bitcoin. Meanwhile, the mouthpiece, the puppet for the deep state, has finally broken silence on crypto. She is pledging support for the industry while stressing consumer protections. Let's see, what did they tell her to say? We will create a safe business environment, an environment that feels safe for business because we want businesses to be safe in the environment that they're in. Oh, well, she didn't say that because they didn't script it, but that's what she would have said if it was off the cuff. With consistent and
unburdened by what has been
Yeah.
in the space. And so we need to be unburdened by traditional finance and make sure that we are building new finance.
Oh, cackle more obnoxiously, please.
Ah.
I'll get you, my pretty, and your little dog.
It is funny though to call her a puppet because seriously, she got 0 votes. You know that, guys. Like she was just installed, like the most installed you could possibly be to install her to protect democracy, you guys. I love that.
Protecting democracy. So not nearly as forward-leaning as the concrete and visionary positions taken by Trump, but notable because she recognizes digital asset innovation as being important and on par with AI. She doesn't understand it. She understands
we got to have innovation here. We got to have the frameworks in place. And I would say that directly connects with not well, we're going to be talking about the SEC next. And I think that it's so interesting. I want to skip that article and go to the next one that's on Blockworks. And Coinbase and the SEC present case to the appeals court in petition for this rulemaking case. Now, what's going on, guys, is the SEC has said that Solana, Cardano, Polygon, Filecoin, Sandbox, Axie Infinity, Chiliz, Flow, Internet Computer Protocol, Near Protocol, Voyager Token Dash, and Nexo are all securities. And so now the case is in discovery. And, that's crazy to think if all those are going to be that. It just tells me the SEC doesn't like digital assets at all. And I don't know. How are half of those securities? It doesn't make sense. They're
It's
protocols.
Gensler. It's Gensler, and Gensler's got to go. GGG. That's the bottom
Gobbling
here.
Gensler's got to go.
Yeah. So House Republicans urge the SEC to rescind what they are calling the disastrous SAB 121. More than 40 senators and representatives have called on them to repeal this staff accounting bulletin. And essentially, there's some bipartisan voting in this. They are saying, let's see, it would fail
All
to
about
reflect.
custody rules for crypto. So it's
Yep.
weakening customer protections and
Right.
it's stifling financial innovation. That's what SAB 121 is doing. And they want to repeal this thing. Gary Gensler, he's in the pocket of some very, very, in my opinion, in the pocket of some very influential and wealthy global bankers. And so he does what he's told. He's not making these decisions on his own, folks.
I have not seen this yet, but I'm interested in watching it. Apparently, the president of El Salvador, Nayib Bukele, met with Elon Musk at the Texas Gigafactory, and they discussed AI, robotics, and humanity's future. Musk praised Bukele's leadership, and again, El Salvador is going to become very wealthy. Imagine, every day they're buying another Bitcoin. Every day they're committed to buying a Bitcoin.
Dude, and they're already out of global debt.
Oh yeah.
They're out of global debt. They have balanced their deficit. They are no longer beholden to anyone else. That is the big news, right? It's like, well, and then once the price of Bitcoin explodes, they're going to be in the black. So that's good. Which I never understood that, Joel. Why are you in the black versus in the red? Because it sounds to me like when you're in the black, that sounds bad, but in the red, but it should almost be like you're in the green or you're in the red. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, we're in the red. That's bad. But like, why? Why is the black good? Because why are we in the black?
Because the stock markets began in an era when the world was black and white. We didn't have color.
Okay. I see. That must be part of the truth there.
But then again, how could you be in the red if there was no color?
Don't know. Man.
So I'm not really sure what that means. So Sam Altman back in the news one more time, as he frequently is. He says ChatGPT is going to fix all the things. Well, no kidding. The leader, of OpenAI, is going to say that AI is going to kill us. No, he's going to be super positive about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I've always said this since I started playing with it back in ChatGPT 2 or 3 or whatever, really early on. I was like, dude, this is the best brainstorming buddy. And if you can program these new custom GPTs, put in all your information in, you can start getting really great information. It's almost like I have 10 Travises at my disposal because I program it with my thoughts, how I want it to think. And then I'm able to, and I really like Claude. Claude is really good, but you don't have as much information you can input it. And so, but I mean, these LLMs are spectacular. I'm a big fan of it. And so, but he's also the head of the World Coin project, which is weird. And they needed to like scan your eyeball to even your 25 World Coin. Like this
creepy.
It's just really weird. It's very dystopian what's going on with some of that stuff there. And then one of the articles that we cut out, that Joel cut out on his own, is will Caroline Ellison go to prison? That was Sam Bankman-Fried's girlfriend, and she was rocking over there at Alameda Research. They had a big scam going on. I don't know if she's going to go to prison or not, but I'm counting on it. I sure would. I kind of want it to happen. Go to prison, bitch.
I mean, there are people that deserve, and look at her face. That's got a prison-ready face.
I tell you what, that has got a Snapchat filter face right there. Really, those glasses and those teeth, like I've seen. No, so what's so weird is Bankman-Fried, he got 25 years in prison. That's it. But with the price of Solana popping off and some of the investments that FTX made, they're almost at the point where they're going to be able to make all of their investors and retail customers whole. Not whole in the traditional sense of, oh, you had one Bitcoin, here's your one Bitcoin. It's, oh, you had one Bitcoin worth and it was $30,000 then, so here's your
Right.
$30,000. It's such a crock of shit how it's tied back to fiat. I don't know. I always find that bizarre.
Is what it is. That is the news we have for you this week, but we need you to stick around because we have a great interview for you that is going to happen right now. And in full disclosure, this is a sponsored Crypto Spotlight interview. Again, we vet all of those that want to be on the show and want to share funds with us in order to do so. And if they pass the muster or the mustard, especially if we're going to have a hot dog, then we do allow them to come on and share their message. Great thing about today is this is content rich, isn't it, Trev?
Oh man, so good. We have so many great. We talk about privacy in the crypto world, data responsibility, blockchain analytics, what their take is on CBDCs, DeFi regulation, which is interesting, and how DeFi is, and is that going to be the next precipice for the next bull run? And then how do you balance regulation and innovation? So it's a very good conversation. Also, they do have some. They have a big proposal with Polkadot coming out as well. So if you guys are fans of the Polkadot community, there's some ability for you to vote. Take a look at the show notes. All that stuff is there. Also, there's a promo code for Satoshi I.
Let's share it afterwards, okay?
Share that afterwards, you guys.
Yeah, well, and by the way, what that means is we've got a code for you to be able to see, put your wallet in and see what exchanges see, to see how your wallet is ranked in terms of its anti-money laundering risk score. So stick around for that. We're going to go ahead and listen to this right now, and we'll see you guys on the other side.
So we have a lot of people reaching out, want to be on the show, and we're very selective of who we have on the show, right?
Taylor Swift asked us. We said, nope, not going to do it, Tay-Tay. Take your Tay-Tay coin away.
Tay-Tay has a coin? Is it a May coin?
I don't know. I guarantee whatever it is, though, it's a shit coin.
Very nice. But we did say yes to Global Ledger, and Lex Fisun is the CEO and co-founder of Global Ledger. It is a leading blockchain solution for financial crime prevention. So this is an interesting one. And since 2015, Lex has worked in fintech and AI and anti-fraud technologies, founded Global Ledger in 2019 to help enterprises, financial regulators, and law enforcement agencies leverage blockchain to track and disrupt illegal activities. So this one's going to be interesting because you're going to see how they're thinking about things. And so Lex's work has built strong partnerships with global organizations. He's actually done some stuff with the UN on drugs and crime, Global Coalition to Fight Financial Crime, and he's worked with law enforcement in Ukraine, Germany, Sweden, Estonia. Also is helping shape Ukraine's cryptocurrency regulation framework over there. So this should be an interesting conversation. Lex, welcome to Bad Crypto, good sir.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, thank you guys.
The website for this is globalledger.io. And if you are fighting crime, does that mean you're the Batman of the blockchain? Is that Lex is Batman? He's going to fight crime.
Blockman. I'm Blockman.
Well, it's not. We're not really, I would say, Batman. It's more about like if you watch James Bond movies, we are this old man that gives James Bond the watch and the pen that explodes and stuff like that, right? So the real heroes are actually the compliance officers and the people in law enforcement. We cannot. I mean, to be honest, like practically, we cannot fight crime because they have a gun and we don't have a gun. So we supply best tools for the heroes in law enforcement and compliance departments for them to fight crime efficiently and actually not spend a lot of time on it.
Got it. So, what's really interesting to me is how central bank digital currencies are getting traction all around the world. So what is your guys' position on that as we kind of set the framework for your philosophy towards blockchain? Do you see them as a positive force for the crypto ecosystem, or are they a potential threat to the very principles of decentralization that crypto was built on?
It's actually a very cool question. So I'd say there are goodies about CBDCs and there are not so cool things about that. So if you think about stable coins, like if you think about the major players out there. A lot of my friends, they even like expect them to fail. They don't like they wouldn't be surprised that there will be like new lawsuit against them, or suddenly the stablecoin may collapse and go to zero and things like that. That's like on their table of expectations. So CBC and in some sense can bring a little bit more stability to that. But I think the way it goes right now isn't really fun. Because if you look at the site called CBDC Tracker, you will actually see that a lot of these CBDCs, they have like a technology provider. That's even like a framework, right? That's the government. There's a technology provider that comes to the government. They say, buy our blockchain, use our technology, use our consulting, subscribe for life, and be dependent on us till the end of the day of your country, and things like that. So that's basically, for many countries, that's a national security risk to be dependent on one technology provider this way. In another sense, if you think about that, like when we had like electronic money, it actually worked like stable coins. So what you had to do is you bring your hard cash to the bank, and they give you a card where you put $100, you have $99 on a card, right? So it's basically the same way you put $100 to Tether right now, and you had 100 USDT on your crypto account. It's totally the same way. So when we switched to electronic money, the governments didn't do the infrastructure. So the infrastructure was built by banks, by companies like Visa, like Swift, like MasterCard, by all these companies. So it's not built by the government. Right now, when we have developments, when the government is testing different blockchains and choosing the technology, it's actually interesting. Like, do these technology providers want the governments to become the infrastructure provider when what they sell to them? Like, and if the government is infrastructure provider, we have a lot of problem here, because should the government compete with the whole business? Should the government create the best blockchain of them all? Like, can they really keep up with all the, like, for Bitcoin, there's like thousands of wallets, thousands of exchanges, bridges, layer twos, whatever, like all these things existing for the existing blockchains. The government will not be able to keep up with that, will not be able to provide better solution to that. So putting the government in competition with existing blockchain infrastructure may not be really cool, because at the end of the day, what government will try, they will see that they are losing. Not to lose, they will force people to use their CBDC, and then you have a situation when government sort of using their a little bit of monopoly to disrupt some of the business activity. So some of them will lose, and that's just a general loss for the economy in general. So the way of doing CBDC when the government is infrastructure provider, I think, is a little bit wrong, and it may go away, right? So it will not bring results. However, this is the primary sort of model for now. What I think like the best model would be is to have a good, reliable stable coin that you can put on any blockchain, just like we did with electronic money, right? You come to the bank, you put your cash, you get your card with your electronic money. With CBDC could be the same. You come to a bank, you make a transaction, or you come to a crypto exchange, you make a transaction, and you received your euro-backed, YENA-backed, I don't know,
Exactly.
some
Yeah.
USDT-backed, right, stablecoin on any blockchain, and then you can use all of the infrastructure, all of the wallets that are existing in the world. You're not competing with business. Business develops infrastructure, new blockchain rises, there's new faster blockchain, there's new smart contracts, right? You can take advantage of all of that, and the beauty of it, you have no budget spending on that.
Yeah. So it seems to me, because this, when the Ukrainian Russian thing broke out in 2022, and I was watching that, and I was just like, wow. For once, obviously horrible. I wish that would all end. I mean, I have friends on both sides in Ukraine. I've been to Ukraine 7 times. I've spoken at blockchain events 3 times in Kiev, been to Odessa, hung out, beautiful, beautiful country. And Joel's been to Russia. We got great friends on both sides of that. Love that to get finished out. But what I thought was interesting about that was that, wow, when the war happened, I was like, man, this is like almost like a 4x opportunity. If there was a way to put some into a CBDC that was a ruble, right? Or put it into a CBDC hryvnia, right? Which is the Ukrainian currency. And then I started thinking, I was like, dude, we're not going to be too far away from there being a global stable coin Forex kind of a thing happening in the future. You know what I'm saying, Lex?
Happening on your Binance account or Coinbase account or something like that, which is totally doable, in general.
Totally Forex. It's almost like, all right, I want to put some stable coin in here because this stable coin versus this stable coin, that's when you're going to start getting some. It's a whole nother level to the game. It seems like we'll probably be here in 3 to 5 years, maybe.
I think we'll. I mean, actually, interestingly, the MiCA regulation that came, that basically like takes its full strength in like following maybe 6 months. So it has the asset-backed stable coins in it, and it actually opens a way for banks to offer that. So what you need to do is you have to like put it on a nice, safe blockchain, be responsible, and get people assets back when they ask for that, right? And be auditable. So it's not really huge deal, but that puts a lot of confidence in the hands of the consumers in general.
Love to see that. That is great. I have a question here around privacy, right? Because,
okay.
I would think that with Global Ledger, there would be some perception amongst some of the blockchain analytics firms that are maybe acting like Big Brother, right? Because we want privacy, we want our own independence. Like, we're trying to be as private as possible. Obviously, everything's tracked on the blockchain, and you guys are working alongside governments to monitor individuals. How do you guys address sort of the privacy concerns while also balancing that need for security and transparency that we all want in the crypto space?
It's a super question. I mean, we had a lot of these and the concerns and questions on that. I think blockchain is very unique, but there are a little bit also like misconceptions about privacy there. So in terms of the uniqueness of the blockchain, somehow the regulations for the blockchain AML came together also with regulations like GDPR. So that makes us not able to store any personal data. So I don't have a wallet that would have Travis on it. That's a true thing. And we cannot have that. So what we can trace is we can trace events, hacks, maybe like darknets, entities. So we trace entities. So we're not violating the privacy of the individual people in general, if they are not in the interest of law enforcement because they committed the event, which is hack. That's the thing. And another thing is, I think just there's this movement of desire of like absolute privacy in the blockchain space, and this is kind of interesting because I think like blockchain is a public ledger. We know that Bitcoin is a public ledger, right? Sort of like a public beach where everyone is naked. You don't know their names, but you see them naked.
Hey, put on your clothes, Lex. Nobody wants to see this.
Everybody's naked.
Yeah.
You're not a beautiful Ukrainian woman. They can be naked, but not you.
Not the beaches I go to.
Yeah. So what I can say is that the bigger balance the Ukrainian woman would have, the more people will be watching on her, right? So that's the same for the blockchain. Look at people that there are different Twitter bots and accounts that are posting about movements of whales and stuff like that. That's the rule. So and in general, I would say so let me give you an example. If you put your bank account in Twitter right now, no one would know anything about your financial transactions, even if they would try. Even if the government, like law enforcement, will try to get some information, they will have to go through a very painful process of proving that you are the criminal and this like a privacy violation worth it. So
they also have to go through Elon Musk, who will say GFY, right? So
yeah, that's also true. So if you put your crypto wallet online right now. Any dude with a blockchain explorer and a lot of time will basically scrape everything he wants. Basically, he would scrape, which exchanges you use, who paid you, whom you paid to, did you buy drugs in the internet, like on maybe Silk Road or somewhere, right?
No, I
It's
didn't.
just a
You
matter
can't
of
prove it. It was not me.
yeah. So it's just a matter of the time for this dude actually to do that. So we're not violating the privacy of the person. It's literally can be done by anyone. What we do is we basically saving time on these researchers, which is actually very important if you think about cybercrime. So fraudsters are very fast, and fraudsters can move money like one transaction per minute per second in some blockchains, bridge, mixer, DeFi, whatever, how they combine these things. And you have to basically go step by step with them and see where they can be blocked. So that's why we need that sort of speed. So to be honest, what I can say, for my example, just to summarize, the bank is gives you way more privacy, because if you post your bank account, no one would know anything. The blockchain is a public thing, and anyone can violate your privacy, and that's the foundation of its security and trustlessness. You know that no one is printing money, or that your transaction happened and it's not going away. It's all connected through the series of signatures with other transactions and things like that, right? So in general, the thing is, it's very hard usually to find that balance between the privacy and security. I think the crypto is as best as we can get, having that sort of pseudonymous system where everything is super fast and transparent, but it's private until you get attention doing some illegal things. So it's,
because privacy is such big concerns, you guys are dealing with so much data. How does Global Ledger then make sure that these analytics that you are putting together are used responsibly? Like, what kind of safeguards do you put in place so that there's not misuse or overreach in an access and the interpretation of the data?
well, I think like if you think about the blockchain itself, this data is public, right? The blockchain transactions, there's nothing secret for you or for me. If I have the blockchain in my server, it's not a difference, right? If you think about names on the blockchain, that information is sort of semi-public, because you can make a transaction on Binance and you can understand it's Binance, right? And you can see that money go into the Binance hot wallet, then that's how you understand it as Binance. And you can see other wallets doing the same. So there's a little bit of also publicly known clustering mechanisms and sort of industry standards on that. So this information is also, I'll say, a semi-secret, and the responsibility of us using it is just it's available for anyone. So it's sort of in a decentralized way, it's transparent to anyone. So with Global Ledger, you can do things backwards. It's not the government can spy on you, but you can spy on the government. You can spy on, let's say, political organizations that collect donations in crypto and see who donates to them, right? Or you can say, okay, how the government spent crypto they seized from Silk Road. What they did with it. Are they selling it like with a discount to some friendly funds, or
They're
are they
having
like doing it
orgies and cocaine parties. That's what the government does with it.
No, they're the pity. They're the
I mean,
pity
if money would
freak-off
go,
parties now. That's what
Yeah.
it is. It's freak-offs.
I mean, that would be funny to see, like money seized from Silk Road going back to Silk Road. That would be that would be fun. Yeah, but you can literally do that, like with Global Ledger. We even have a sort of consumer sub-brand which we have on the site, satoshi.com. We haven't like fully, I mean, it's fully functional, but we haven't like marketed that a lot. But it's literally, you can get the same type of report any like three-letter agency would get for like $1. So, like, check the wallet. Okay, I have all this information. So that's the inclusivity. I think that's the only way to be responsible about that. So everyone has the ability to see. That's almost the same as in the blockchain itself. And one thing that we have to be very responsible with, like it's extremely responsible, we should be with that, is we should be responsible with any information you give us. Let's say you say, I got hacked, right? If you want us to distribute it, I mean, internally, we have a big red button click to say this person got hacked, and from this big red button, every exchange in the world will know that you get hacked, and then they would not receive money from you. Which is pretty good if you want to block money pretty quickly. You know, hackers, sometimes when you see the news, when hackers return funds to the project, it's because they tried few exchanges and then they tried mixing and then they tried DeFi and then they still see the money got blocked and they like, oh no, I'm done. Like these guys are up to it. So if you want this big red button, fine. We're going to share this information with everyone. Maybe not share like which project you are and things like that. But if you don't want that, if you want to keep things private and just go into private court and sort this thing out, or like you want us quickly contacting those exchanges on the way, like not to share with everyone, that's also fine. And that also applies to clients that, let's say, may check sources of funds like banks, right? So there are situations with some of the providers out there when they are selling data, which clients came to you. And even if you refuse that, law enforcement may receive data that I know Iranians were knocking this door. So, and that was reputationally not correct to share this data, I think, and this is where we need to be very responsible. In order to ensure that we're responsible, that we literally install our system into the client's office, into their server, so they know we don't see. This is very important. So the privacy of your internal operations is definitely something we should be very responsible with. And this we're probably the only provider that does that, especially that's very important for big banks.
You kind of said it and forget it. That's good. I want to ask this. You mentioned about Binance. So what do you think is going to happen when CZ gets out of prison? Do you think, and what kind of CZ do you think we're going to see? Is it going to be, tiny CZ, or is he going to come out all swole and jacked, like, because he's been doing lots of push-ups in jail and he's going to be all ripped? Like, what CZ are we going to just, this is not relevant to the conversation other than I think it's hilarious to visualize super jacked CZ. No?
I think it's a good question. I think, I'm no prophet, but let me try to do a prophecy here. So I think he will stay out of business, become a missionary, a person who will build, wells in Africa or educate some guys about crypto, or just do very social, very karma inducing activities. I think that's what should what should happen. Given his style and things like that. I met him many times, and we were in the same conferences back in 2016,
we met him a few times too. All right, so we're running out of time here, so let's keep these next ones kind of quick. So, because it seems to me with the ability that you're able to do all this analytics and pull all this information on, can that help in predicting price models of tokens as well based on activity? Is that what you guys are building? Is that something that people could use maybe in another industry for prediction models?
Actually, it's true. We never really.
Why are you not a crypto billionaire, Lex?
We make enough money. Yes, we have a lot of clients here. Let me take my time. So to be honest, the simplest case I can give you is that you can trace whenever a lot of money enter an exchange. Usually, that means someone, especially if you talk about tokens, that means someone want to sell a lot. Especially if that's from tokens that could be traced to initial investors for the team. If they go in 4 years, 5 years, that's probably for sale. So
that's
also
great data right there. That stuff is so valuable to know that inflow and outflow and when tokens are being put on an exchange, and you can see all that. If you had a dashboard, so you might even think an additional business model on top of just helping, the regulatory and security side of things, of taking that and almost creating your own Masari coin glass or something. So maybe we can have a conversation about how we could potentially work together. But I know we're running out of time, but I want to ask about this. DeFi.
Yeah.
One of the most exciting spaces in crypto. Even Trump's coming in and doing his own sort of stable coin thing and getting into DeFi with the World Liberty. And so what do you anticipate happening with DeFi regulation? How's that going to evolve? And how's that going to impact innovate? And do you think that's the next? I don't think meme coins are what's going to drive this. I think AI and DeFi, it seems to me, is what's going to drive this next bull market.
Yeah, it's actually pretty interesting. I mean, I think DeFi went there was a journey there with all the hacks, with all the people that are still like investing in it and creating those pools, and these are survivors. I mean, I appreciate that. So I think the next way of survival for them will be the survival of regulations. If you remember, like back in 2014, and the sort of like first regulations were introduced, like the just first FATF guidelines and first investigations were made. What the law enforcement concluded that like 30% of all transactions in crypto was darknet. And from that information, then a lot of exchanges, they've been closed or their bank accounts were closed, and a lot of things happened, and it was a huge bear market after that. So I think this is something that may happen with DeFi, because a lot of these DeFis, they have no control over the funds they receive and they send. So they've been used to, I mean, frankly, it's very often when money is stolen from one DeFi protocol being swapped through another DeFi protocol in order to like look clean. So I think there will be a little bit more rules over that. So if you think about Mika, which is actually like some parts of it already in power, some parts of it over like next 3 to 6 months. So if you have a smart contract that is running by itself, that may be considered a DeFi in terms of like it's decentralized and no one is responsible for that. If you receive commission from that smart contract and you have a site registered on your name to interact with it, that's basically a crypto exchange by the current regulation. We're now working actually to separate this, to give a little bit more room for innovation with DeFi. So we're writing our letters with like explanations on technology for regulators, so to separate DeFi a little bit more from the traditional like a crypto exchange, from a centralized exchange. But there will definitely be some certain rules that, maybe the biggest players will be forced to have a KYC procedures, or there'll be a little bit more attention towards what money you receive and things like that, right? So, and a lot of these DeFis will be basically classified as virtual asset service providers, just like crypto exchanges.
Mhm.
So, and this would be the next challenge for them in order to think about, okay, do I go gray, do I go black, or do I go white and clean, and I get like a license for a few $1,000 and then I hire a compliance officer and I just clean up my accounts a little bit.
If
So
only
that
we
would be
could see the future. But prognosticating about what it's going to look like is interesting, and your knowledge on this obviously is quite vast. And as we close out, I want to make sure we give a proper shout out to your project that you're working on is globalledger.io, cutting edge blockchain visualization technology and crypto AML risk scoring solutions. You guys can go through the site here and see all the different things that they do, who they work with. It's very broad, quite vast. If you were going to sum up for a general audience, Alex, what would you want people to know, and what action would you want them to take?
I think people often, they may think that the government and the blockchain ethics providers are the ones that are pushing compliance, and they think it's just additional cost or obligations on them to cut their own clients, even if they're bad. But the truth is, we hate compliance, and I think the governments and law enforcement they truly do as well. That's for them; it's additional work, and we also hate when our accounts get blocked or frozen for some unknown reason and things like that. I think that there are people that love compliance very much, and these are not governments or someone else. These are the victims of cybercrime. They want everyone to be compliant and to block funds as quickly as possible, if they appear suspicious. And we have to respect that. I mean, a lot of crypto people, they get hacked multiple times. I got hacked like a few times. So the ability to strike back and to return your funds, that's what compliance is. So let's be responsible. Let's be compliant. And I think the growth is on the white side. Just spotting and reporting these fraudsters to regulators is actually a good thing to do, and that will help your buddies not to get hacked next time.
Excellent summary. Alex, thanks again for joining us today. We really appreciate it. Well, there you go. Very interesting stuff. Super intelligent dude doing things on the other side of the world. And as Travis mentioned, you guys get a promo code. We finished talking to him. And it's like, well, they can go, put their address in for free, but they can't really look at the reports. And we're like, what? They got to be able to see reports. So we did it, guys. You can go and you get up to 50 lookups for free when you go to satoshii.com, EYE, satoshii.com. And the promo code when you go to unlock the reports related to your wallet is TRY50, TRY 50. Gets you 50 lookups for free. There is, you don't have to buy a darn thing. You can just go enjoy the service that other people are paying for, but you don't have to, because you are in the Republic of Bad Cryptopia, bitches.
Yes, this is the other side. It's made it through. Here we are, just like corn. I don't know that we've had a corn joke in a while, but we got to drop the corn jokes every now and again because we are corny. Yeah, but this Satoshi Eye it looks really interesting. Very good consumer facing thing. Put in addresses. So what it'll do is keep track of addresses that maybe have sent you stuff and maybe you've sent to help protect you before you do stuff. So you're going to get 50 of those credits, which is pretty cool. And I want to thank them for Global Ledger for helping come on the show, have a great conversation, sponsoring it. We really appreciate them.
Indeed, we do. And we will be back again with you guys next week. Hope you've enjoyed the podcast. We always enjoy being here with you. And until then, you ought to know what to do, right? It's mow the lawn. Is that what you do?
Is go travel?
Shovel the driveway.
Oh, stay back.
That's it. Stay back. The Bad Crypto Podcast is a production of Bad Crypto LLC. The content of the show, the videos, and the website is provided for educational, informational, and entertainment purposes only. It's not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, or trading advice of any kind. You shouldn't make any decisions as to finances, investing, trading, or anything else based on this information without undertaking independent due diligence and consultation with a professional financial advisor. Please understand that the trading of Bitcoins and alternative cryptocurrencies have potential risks involved. Anyone wishing to invest in any of the currencies or tokens mentioned on this podcast should first seek their own independent professional financial advisor.
Come lend me your ears, girls and boys, about those magic little kernels of joy. Versatile in the kitchen, every day I'm wishing for that plant that we love so much more than soy. Yes, it's corn, syrup or oil, grind or pop it, grilled or boiled. Yes, it's corn, eat it today.